Welcome to Southern Maryland, American Legion Post 221. My name's Mike Barber. Tonight we also have with us fellow Legionnaires Tommy Howe, Francis Gibson, Dan Ion, and George Kenneth. This evening we've been asked to show you a few things about the American flag and discuss some of the etiquettes and protocols involved with the flag. So basically, as we look at the flag, it was adopted by the United States Continental Congress back before we became United States, and they stipulated that they needed a flag fly to show that they were united as states. So another segment we're going to provide will give the history of the flag as it's developed. Tonight, in this segment, we're going to focus primarily on the protocol and the etiquette for the 50-star flag that we currently have for the United States of America. Now, the United States flag, as you can see back here, we have it on a staff, and we never let the flag touch the ground. It's always important to show proper respect for the flag, and as we hold it up, Mr. Howe is going to pull it over that way so that we can illustrate that the union of the flag always is displayed to the observer's left. So this is called the flag's own right. So anytime it's displayed horizontally, it's in this fashion. Of course, if it's draped from the staff, then it just hangs down loose from the staff. Other things that we need to pay attention to with regard to the flag etiquette and protocols, we're going to go around and put down, Tony. We're just going to go amongst the different members and just go over some of the items that we like to provide to people in the way of Americanism education. So we'll just start on the end with Mr. Kenneth. George, would you like to explain a few things about the flag that you like to point out at our education seminars?
Well, the flag's been around a long time. It's gone through several changes, except one thing has not changed. It's always been red, white, and blue. And those colors signify a few things that are critically important to us as American citizens. The blue is the courage of the patriots, the white is for purity, and the red is for the blood that they shed to give us the freedom that we have today.
Hey, Mr. Ion?
So when the flag is worn on a uniform, the Navy normally wears it on the left arm. The ensign will always be facing forward, left or right arm, as shown charging into battle.
Now you'll notice on Dan's t-shirt here, on her right-hand side, the flag is facing backward, as he said, like charging into battle. So when you're looking at his flag over here, it will actually be on the observer's right. But if it's on a uniform, or if it's on an aircraft or a ship, and it's on the right or the starboard side, then it would be flown in that particular fashion. Francis, want to add something?
As a veteran, each veteran is entitled to have a flag at his funeral to be presented to his family on his death by an official member of the American Legion or the military, and that's it.
And the flag, when it's draped over the coffin of the veteran, the union of the flag is always draped over the left shoulder of the veteran as it's laid out on the coffin, the closest to his heart or her heart.
Flag disposal each year, June 14th, which is Flag Day. Our post gets together with the governmental center and we properly take all the soiled or used flags and properly dispose of them by burning.
So when a flag is no longer able to be used, properly displayed, we call it unserviceable. And Mr. Gibson does a great job of hoisting all the flags up onto a big rack. And this year, because of the COVID restrictions, we had to forego the June 14th ceremony, but we did do it last month at the governmental center virtually. Now, how many flags did we burn over there ceremoniously?
I think it was 560 flags.
So around 560 flags altogether. So the point for the flags is we don't just put them in the trash. We don't just summarily get rid of them like a regular piece of garbage. We always want to show the proper respect for the flag. Now, if you have a flag that's unserviceable, you can bring it to our American Legion post here. We're in Avenue, Maryland, and we have a flag disposal container out in front of the post. Also, at the 3 senior centers in St. Mary's County, you can take your flags there, or you may very well be able to take it to one of the other Veterans Organization buildings within the county, and they'll see to the proper disposal of the flag at the appropriate time. Okay, so round 2 for the proper protocol for the flag. Have you ever been in a parade and seen the flag going by? So when the flag goes by, normally the first time the flag goes by, you would render the proper respect. If we were in uniform, as we are all veterans, we would render the hand salute. Now, a veteran would do that with or without headgear on. That's something that President Bush allowed us to do without the headgear or in uniform as a veteran, to render the hand salute during both the playing of the national anthem and for the passing of the flag. If you're in civilian attire, you would remove your cover and place it over your heart. Or, if you did not have anything on your head, you would simply place your hand over your heart until 6 paces after the flag goes by, and then you would lower your hand. That's showing the proper respect for the flag as it goes by. Would you like to explain how the flags are lined up as they go down in a parade formation?
Well, the first flag is always going to be the American flag, the United States flag. Then it would be, in this case, it would be the county flag, St. Mary's County.
State.
State? I'm sorry, state, yes.
So the thing
That's
is, each time, when we look at the flags, the position on the right is the position of prominence. So the one of most prominence is the national flag. And you go down to each level of government as you go as a subset of the national government. So as Mr. Howe explained, we have the United States flag, the Maryland state flag would be next in precedence.
And then we had the St. Mary's County flag. Then we get into the military services. This here would be the Army flag, United States Marine Corps, United States Navy, United States Air Force, United States Coast Guard, and then at the end we had the American Legion and the POW.
And auxiliary.
Auxiliary, I'm sorry, Mr. Auxiliary, thank you.
Now, what we do not currently have on display in our stage set here is the Space Force flag. Technically, they are an armed service, and it would come after the Coast Guard. So they will fit right here when we're able to acquire that flag. You see, the flag's order of precedence in the armed services fall in line with when they were established. Now, someone might argue that the Navy was established before the Marine Corps. That's true, but the Navy was then disestablished and reestablished, whereas the Marines back in December of 1775 carried on in full force the whole time without a break. That's why the Marine Corps comes in front of the Navy in the order of precedence. Okay, how about hanging a flag? How do we hang a flag if we're going to hang it up on a street? Could you tell us about that, Dan?
Yes, so if you're going to hang a flag over the middle of the street, you're always going to hang it so the ensign, the blue field of stars, faces north on an east-west street or east on a north-south street. And you're going to hang it vertically.
Well, you could hang it horizontally, but the key is the union always faces either north or east, depending on the orientation of the street that you're with. Okay, so as we go along with the flag, we have to look at what happens if it does fall onto the ground. What do we do if I accidentally got my hands full and it dropped unintentionally on the ground?
If you unintentionally drop the flag on the ground, you don't have to have it destroyed as being unserviceable. As long as you can wipe it off and it's presentable, not torn, then you can continue to use that flag.
And you can actually wash it too. How about the Maryland flag? Do we burn those Maryland flags also ceremoniously during our ceremony?
We do, but it's not necessary. Or is it?
Okay, well, the Maryland code dictates that we'll follow the federal code. So basically, the federal code was put together in 1923 when 68 different veterans organizations, patriotic organizations got together and they codified the code. So they put together the flag code, which is in Title IV of the United States Code. And in there, it goes over all the different things that we just talked about up here on the stage. So if you want to look that up later on, you could just type in the U.S. flag code and come up with that. Now, can you tell us that the Navy has a different code than the U.S. flag code, Dan? Dan is active duty in the Navy.
Yeah, so the Navy does have a different code that applies basically to naval vessels underway and on deployment and stuff, and displayed on base on the various flagpoles and masts on base, because the Navy uses a 3 to 5 tier system to display different flags and banners.
So when you look at it on the Navy base, and you go on and there's a yard arm, and you see the flags on there, you might see that the national ensign or the U.S. flag is on the foremost one. But that one is actually lower than the other two side arms. So the yard arms will carry a state flag and a Navy flag, but the U.S. flag will be there. But with that particular device, the yard arm, the forward protruding arm, is considered the position of prominence on that yard arm. Okay, how about for different placements on a staff or on a flagpole? What do we consider about that, Mr. Howe?
The United States flag is always on top. And then you would have, the other flags would be a little bit lower than the United States flag.
And how about if we had a POWMIA flag that's flown on the 6 days that we specifically recognize that, and in relation to the U.S. flag, the Maryland flag, and the POW flag, how would they be arranged?
Yeah, again, the U.S. flag would be on top, then your state and your POW flag would be equal heights, but away from the United States flag, lower.
Okay, so when you look at that, it's very important to understand that as you're raising the flags, the U.S. flag always goes up first. The second flag would be the Maryland flag, and then the POW flag would be the third in order. When you're lowering the flag, it's reversed. The POWMIA comes down, Maryland flag comes down, and finally, the U.S. flag comes down. What does it mean when they say half-staff?
So half-staff will use that in remembrance of a military member or somebody in government of prominence, such as president or congressman.
Or Justice Ginsburg?
Justice Ginsburg recently. So when they do that, they will raise the flag all the way up to the top of the mast as they normally would, and then they will slowly lower it about halfway down to give honor to the person that passed.
And who is authorized to order the flag at half-mast or half-staff?
The President of the United States, and he also delegates that authority to each of the governors of the 50 states, as well as the territories that we have under the United States.
And for the intent and purpose, the mayor of Washington, D.C. also has that authority.
True.
So when we look at the flag and we're raising it up and down, can we fly the flag 24 hours a day?
Flag can be flown 24 hours a day as long as some sort of light is on the flag.
During hours of darkness.
In the hours of darkness.
So we do that for patriotic effect, and with regard to the proper illumination, there's nothing really that says the candle power, the intensity of the light, but it's a light for you to shine on it so that you can see dutifully that it is the American flag flying on that staff or that pole. All right, so do we want to fly a cotton flag 24 hours a day, all the time?
I don't believe it would hold up with the inclement weather that we have in this area.
So not a good idea. You want to get an all-weather flag to do that. How about if we want to fly a flag that has fringe on it?
No, the fringe will be tattered and start to discolor before the rest of the flag, therefore making it unserviceable.
So the fringe is basically for ceremonial display, not necessarily for being displayed out in the weather at all times. So are we able to fly any flag up on the staff? Can we just throw any flag we want up there? Like the, I don't know, I don't want to get political here, but just, are there other flags besides these that we can fly on the same staff as the American flag?
The only ones that I know that you can fly on the same staff as the American flag is the state flag below the United States flag. And then if you have a pole big enough, you could fly a third flag like the POW flag underneath of that. But generally that's about the limit.
Right. Okay.
I've seen others though.
Yeah. So really, to pay the proper respect, you want to make sure we put them in the proper order, and we don't want a whole lot of flags up there. We just want the ones in the regular order of precedence that we have. So with regard to the POWMIA flag, Francis, what can we take away from this flag? We say that we've got the POWMIA. What do those acronyms stand for? POWMIA.
I'll leave that to you.
Okay, so the POW is prisoner of war, and MIA is missing in action. And that came about from a group that sought to give a remembrance to those that are still missing in action, and we could very well still have some that are being held captive as prisoners of war. And that's one of the things that we always should strive as American citizens, is to not only remember those, but to try and repatriate the remains of various individuals that have gone forward and have sacrificed their lives for our country.
And it even says at the bottom of that flag, you are not forgotten. No matter how long, how much time's passed, your country that sent you to war overseas, they still know that your body is there if they have not returned it to the country or properly buried you in a veteran cemetery authorized by the United States government in another foreign country, like France, for instance.
Okay. So let's say if we have 3 poles in a triangular formation out in front of a building. Do they have to be the same height? Or if one is higher, can we fly any flag on the higher pole?
Absolutely not. The United States flag always flies on the highest mast, and every other flag has to fly below that to some extent.
Okay, very good. Again, we're showing the importance of the American flag. We're giving respect for that flag being more so important than the other flags in the different order of precedence.
Though I must say that I've noticed that locations that have multiple poles, when the flag's ordered at half-staff, a lot of times the 3 flags on 3 separate poles are all equally placed, which is not correct. Those other flags are supposed to be below the United States flag, even at half-staff.
Now, the governor could very well order the Maryland flag at half-staff, but not the United States flag at half-staff. Let's say that a local government official had passed, or a Maryland government official had passed, and he ordered the Maryland flag, which, by the way, is done through proclamation. He orders the flag at half-staff, and he determines the length of time that the flag will remain at half-staff. Now, if the county flag is also fine, it will be lowered as well. But you don't lower the United States flag unless it is specifically pointed out in that proclamation to lower the flags. If anybody has any questions with regard to the proper placement or the protocols or etiquette of the American flag, feel free to contact our post. You can go to our webpage at al221webs.com, or you can email us at alpost221@aol.com. We'll be more than happy to answer the questions, and we're more than happy to come out to your organization and provide a presentation if you so desire. Thank you for being with us today, and stand by for the next segment. We're going to go over the 13 folds of the flag, and we're also going to go over the history of the United States flag later.